Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth from StampScrapandMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. And as always, my goal is to inspire you. So today we're going to be playing with the Queen Bee bundle. Let's get started. This is the stamp set and it comes with coordinating dies. So we've got birthday, queen, happy, beloved. We've got splatter. We've got some weathered words, floral, a flower, a crown, a bumblebee, and this big bumblebee. And the coordinating dies are the large bumblebee, which go with that. We've got wing overlay. This cuts out this one. There's a crown. I haven't played with all of this yet, so I'm still learning. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this bumblebee, this one probably cuts out that bumblebee. And this one probably cuts out that one. We've got a little heart. We've got standalone bumblebee with the sort of the background, and this would be the overlay. We've got an arc of leaves with another one, and we've got honeycomb, did I say that one? And we've got a banner that you would put the queen on it, or the happy, or the birthday. So that's the coordination. I call these standalone. And we're going to be using some of these elements today. We're going to be using the bumblebee, the big bumblebee. We're going to use the wing overlay. We're going to use the little heart, the honeycomb. And I'm also going to incorporate, because you know I do all the time, all that dies this time. We're going to be using this large circle with the scallop on the edge. We're going to be using this small banner. And we're also going to be using one of the argyles. I know, so argyle, how are we going to incorporate that into the card? The colors we're going to be using are Balmy Blue, Early Espresso, and Sahara Sand. We're going to be using some blends, and I'm also going to be bringing out the Stamp-a-ratus. So let's check out the card. This is the card we're going to be making. You'll see where I use the argyle here. The honeycomb is tucked under there. There's the circle scallop, the scalloped edge circle, the wing overlay. The beloved, I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to be using that die for the beloved. I thought that would look cute. And we're going to do some random stamping, and the Cane 3D Weave embossing folder, the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. So let's get started. We're going to do some stamping first. That's where do I go? I am going to bring out the Stamp-a-ratus. And I do this all the time. If you've not seen me do this, this is how I'm stamping the bee in balmy blue, and I want a nice, rich, balmy blue. So I'm going to have to do multiple stamping of this. So I'm going to take this off the block like that. I should have cleaned it first before I get all over my ink all over my hands. And I'm going to pick, because I've done it already once, I'm going to start fresh with you here. I'm going to lay this down here, and I'm going to put the magnets on here like that. Now I'm going to take, well, let me clean this off so I don't get ink everywhere. I should have done that first. And I'm going to nest that in the negative space like that. I'm going to nest that into the negative space like that. And I'm going to pick this up, and I'm just going to bring out my balmy blue ink and lightly ink up into that negative space. And why I'm doing that is I want to make sure that it has even space all the way around. And you know what? Folks, I think I did a great job of lining this up. And I'm not going to move it at all. But if there was space, negative space too much on one side, or white space, I would just move this template easier than moving the stamp. Also, because I'm going to be stamping this multiple times, if this template does shift out of place, I'll be able to easily put it back into place. So I've already die cut out the bumblebee. I know, who's ever seen a blue, I've got adhesive on my nails, sorry. Who has ever seen a blue bumblebee? But you know, let your creative juices flow. Inking up image and I'm going to stamp it down. Really push into the, especially the middle, because I want that middle to be nice and inky. You can leave it like that as you want, if you want, but I want it a little bit darker. Balmy blue is quite a light color. That. And I'm going to do one more time. One more time. If you wanted a black bumblebee and color the flowers in, you could definitely do that, but you would have to stamp it multiple times. I'm really not happy in the middle. I want it a little bit darker. So I am just going to ink up the middle and press the middle in again. Perfecto. And see how perfect that turned out? Love how that turned out. Now we are going to use the blends to color this, but because I didn't use the black memento ink, I'm going to be very gentle with how I color this. So you observant folks out there are going to think, Elizabeth, your nails have changed, your hair is up, you've got a different t-shirt on. That is because when I went to upload the video yesterday, I realized that my camera had stalled. So while I was coloring, the whole time it was just a still image like this. And so I thought I would re-film this small section and splice it into the original video. So apologies for that. I did have issues yesterday with my camera, or sorry, my cell phone giving me error messages that battery was low, but the battery was full and it was plugged in. So I don't know. Technology, sometimes it works when it does, it's wonderful, but when it doesn't work, it's frustrating. Okay, so now I'm going to take the bumblebee. I've stamped it in the balmy blue as per the previous segment. And now I'm going to color it in polished pink, not polished pink, flirty flamingo and granny apple green. So let's get started. I'm starting with the dark flirty flamingo and I've got the bullet end. Didn't use black memento when I stamped the bumblebee. So I am being very cautious on how I am coloring with the blends. So I'm not really coloring, shading. I'm doing more of like a stroke type of effect. There is the bumblebee all colored in flirty flamingo and granny apple green. All right, so now back to my regular scheduled program and I'll see you on the other side. So here is the card base. This is Sahara Sand 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4.25. 2 sheets of basic white that are 5.25 by 4. And we are also going to use the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder right here. And I've done the coloring with the blends. We are going to be using this stamp that is going to be in Sahara Sand. The Beloved is going to be in Early Espresso. And let's put the card together. So we've got the basic white. I'm going to take the weathered text. That's what I call it. I'm not quite sure exactly what you would call it, but it's sort of text that really has no honey. I see spring. I see grow. Oh, garden, bee, flower, bloom, life, miracles, honey, together, spring, grow. Those are the words. And the hardest part with this is making sure that the sticker is on the stamp straight and that the stamp is on the block straight. So my head might get in the way here, but I'm going to put this up here. And this one I'm going to put down here like this. And I'm going to put one more in the middle like that. There is also in that stamp really small splatter. I think I'm going to use that as well. But it's so small, it's you have to do it so many times. Just to fill in. And you know, I'm also going to use, I think, the crown just to fill in more spots like that. We're going to be embossing this, so you're not going to see a lot of it. And it's going to have like an element in the middle here, so you're not going to see a lot of it. And while I'm stamping, I've got the Beloved on here. And I'm going to take my early espresso. Like this. And, oh, hope for straight. I don't think I'm straight. And I am going to put that aside because it's very dark. It's very dark. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to put all the ink aside. And now I'm going to bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out. So this is what we're going to emboss. This is the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. And I'm going to match it up on this line here. But with the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder, you also need to be sure, because there's a definite line here and here, like because it's got angles. Despite what's down here, make sure that this is straight and this is straight, because this is what will be seen. So I'm just playing around with this to make sure that it is straight on the top, on the side, and on the bottom, like that. And I'm going to bring up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is a base plate 1, the embossing folder with the paper inside, plate 4. And you're just going to run that through. Oh. And there is the embossed card. I'm going to, might as well, while we're here, I'm going to mount that on the top there like that. Because it's been embossed, make sure you get adhesive in all those crooks and crannies so that it doesn't lift. You might even want to use tear and tape or Tombow glue. I like my Stampin' Seal Plus. But when I put this down, there's a couple things. When you emboss it, you break some of the fibers of the paper. So you might get a little bit of buckling. So just make sure you really run your fingers over when you get it straight and even. And especially along the edge, because you don't want it to have like a buckle where it comes apart, comes from the base. Here we go. Okay, so I have already die cut out using the All That Dies, this one in the vellum. And I'm going to put Tombow glue on here. I've already sort of done this and had to pull it off. So I didn't want to cut another one. So I am putting Tombow glue on here. There we go. And find that with vellum and Tombow glue, if you spread it out with your finger, you're less likely to see the glue behind. And it's also embossed, so we have two for one. But I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to get a baby wipe though, because the glue off my fingers. It's a play day for me. So instead of teaching, I am actually attending a virtual event, and it starts in a couple of hours. And I got up this morning, cleaned my craft room. Maybe this is why I'm having connection issues, because I've moved. I took all the cables off of everything and I wrapped cables and cords because I can't handle cables and cords all over the place. And so Velcro, not Velcroed, zip tied everything. So maybe that's why I'm having cable issues or errors on my phone, that the battery is running low when it's actually full. So there is, well, you can hardly see the vellum, the glue behind the vellum when you use the Tombow. Just make sure you rub it thinned out with your finger. Okay. Now I'm going to take the bumblebee and I'm going to pop that up. Yeah, so I cleaned my craft room to get ready for the event this afternoon, and I'm so happy. I love it when I clean my craft room. The rest of the house isn't clean, but my craft room is perfect. Vacuumed, cleaned up cords, put stuff away, made sure the display shelves were correct, like with all current stuff. Like I just love it when I clean the craft room. I'm putting this like that so that part of the scallop shows below. Part of this, yeah, the scallop circle shows below. I'm going to take the vellum wing, and I forgot to poke out some of the centers. There's the vellum wing. I am going to use a little bit of Tombow glue in the middle. This is going to cover up the part of the heart. I feel a sneeze coming on. Sorry, I had to pause while I sneezed. And I have a little heart. I've got a little pink heart somewhere. Oh, there it is. And because I covered up that heart in the vellum, with the vellum, I am just going to put a little bit of Tombow glue on there like that. And I did die cut out one of the hearts, and it's part of the Queen Bee Die suite. And I put that on there like that. All right. And you can kind of bring the wings up a little bit to bend them up so that it looks like they're fluttering. All right, now I'm going to take the argyle, and I did die cut it out already using the adhesive sheets, which I have some from the old company, but I have a lot of it, so I'm starting to use it up. And I have not poked out some of the shards. And I am going to actually tuck that in here like this. Now, because I've got dimensionals here, I am going to cut it down a little bit so that it fits perfect. It fits okay. I'm going to just cut one of them off like that. There we go. And I'm going to tuck this in like that. And if you wanted to, I could put this one, oh, maybe under here. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to put it there. I'll have die cut out one of the honeycombs. Honeycomb, won't you be my baby? Honeycomb, won't you be? Who knows where that song comes? Honeycomb. I think it was a Western. Okay, and I'm going to tuck that in under there like that. To take the beloved and I'm going to put that like this. Oh, I like how this is turning out. Just going to get a small dimensional. There we go. Small dimensional on this side. I'm going to put two small dimensionals so that it doesn't sag. But because I'm going to be putting this on top of here, I'm going to use some Tombow glue. Like that. Oh, I like how it turned out, folks. There's the card. This was the original. That was the original card. I actually prefer the Beloved done with this as compared to this. What do you guys think? I actually, and since we're using this from the All That Dies and this from the All That Dies, why not use that from the All That Dies? But this, the Bumblebee, the Heart are all from the Queen Bee bundle. And you know, if you wanted to take it up a notch, you know, you could die cut out the crown and sort of put it there. Now I'm just getting a little bit overzealous with it. And then on the inside, I haven't stamped anything on the inside, Beloved. We could do Happy Birthday. Why not do that? Happy. Get a block. I put them all on this block. I can. I'm going to put Happy and Birthday. I'm going to stamp them separately. So whose birthday is coming up? Who can I send this to? Happy. Ooh, yeah. I know, I get excited. I get excited when a card turns out. I think, you know, I do so many swap cards. Think this might have been a swap card. I'm not sure. But I've changed up a little bit. Now, here's the trick. Because these are two separate, right? If you don't line them up perfectly, it's going to look like you didn't line them up perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this block and I am going to put it to the right a little bit, and that way it's not going to look like it wasn't meant to be like that. If I had have lined it up, tried to line it up perfectly under the Happy, it might not have lined up and it would have been obvious. So what I am going to do that now, I am going to take the crown, clean this off. And where's my balmy blue? Oh, no, I'm going to not use the crown. I'm going to use the, I'm talking to myself. Okay, guys, I'm talking to myself. I'm going to take the flower and I'm going to stamp this off to see what it looks like. Perfect. And I am actually going to put it right there. There we go. Not perfect, but. And I'm just going to give that a wave. And put that on the inside. I have more cards to come, more tutorials to come using this bundle. Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Beloved. Happy birthday. That's the Queen Bee bundle. Thanks for joining me today on this video tutorial, and we will see you again next time. Take care. Happy stamping.